Hi everybody, thank you for staying with me on this course for academic English vocabulary. This is set number 2 in the group of words that begin with the letter F, going through to the words that begin with the letter I. So F to I words, and it is set number 2. Let's get started with this, shall we? And here is the first group of words we're going to practice. Hypothesis, identical, identify, ideology, ignorance, illustrate. For this practice exercise, it is fill in the space. Here is the first sentence. The data, blank blank, that men receive higher salaries than women. As an, blank blank, Stoicism focuses on how we react to the events in our lives. In the past, blank blank, of how germs affected the body, caused people to die young. Blank blank, twins are often studied to find out how much genes have an impact on our lives. Dental records are often used to blank blank, the dead. The blank blank sounds clever, but it does not explain this phenomenon. All right, we have some interesting sentences and some interesting vocabulary here. Please think about how you would answer this exercise. And of course, next I will show you the answer key for this group of words. Okay, here is the answer key. First is illustrate. The data illustrates that men receive higher salaries than women. And then ideology. As an ideology, Stoicism focuses on how we react to the events in our lives. Do you know anything about Stoicism? Maybe that's something you can learn. Ignorance. In the past, ignorance of how germs affected the body caused people to die young. Identical. Identical twins are often studied to find out how much genes have an effect on our lives. And then identify. Dental records are often used to identify the dead. The last one is hypothesis. The hypothesis sounds clever, but it does not explain this phenomenon. All right, I hope you got those answers. Let's move on to the next group of words. All right, here is the second group of words in this second set. Image, immigrate, impact, implement, implicate, implicit. And for this exercise, I'd like you to read the example sentences carefully, decide which word is incorrect, and replace it with a good AWL word. Okay, here we go. The identical twins implicate understood what each other was thinking. The documentary implicit the army in acts of violence against the citizens. The new law will be implicated in 6 months. So businesses need to start planning now. The impact shows an old lady and a young woman at the same time. A point system is used to measure whether a person can implicate to this country. The new policy has a major implement on income tax, which will rise by 5%. That's all the sentences. Remember, some of them don't make sense because I have dropped in a word that is incorrect. Read it carefully, find that incorrect word. Of course, next I will show you the answer key for this group. Okay, here is the answers for this group. The first one is implicit, but you do need to use the adverb form here. The identical twins implicitly understood what each other was thinking. Identical twins is the clue here. Implicate. The documentary implicated the army in acts of violence against the citizens. Implement. The new law will be implemented in 6 months, so businesses need to start planning now. Image. The image shows an old lady and a young lady at the same time. Maybe you are aware of that picture where you can see two things at the same time. One of those psychological things. Immigrate. A point system is used to measure whether a person can immigrate to this country. Lastly is impact. The new policy has a major impact on tax, which will rise by 5%. All right, let's keep going. Here is the new group of words. Imply, impose, incentive, incidence, incline, income. And for this exercise, I'd like you to match it with the group of words that have the similar meaning. Here is the first group: rate, prevalence, extent, predispose, prompt, bias, signify, suggest, hint, prize, stimulus, enticement, institute, charge, force, and compensation, livelihood, earnings. I've gone through them fairly fast. Please pause the lesson at this point and think about your matching. And of course, once again, next up is the answers for this group. Okay, here we go. Did you get the matches? Incidence goes with rate, prevalence, extent, incline, predispose, prompt, bias. So yes, I know incline means to go up, but there is also a second lesser known meaning which we're focusing on here, which of course means bias or tendency. And then imply, signify, suggest, hint. That's a common word in academic English, and it's worth remembering. Incentive, prize, stimulus, enticement. And then impose goes with institute, charge, force. The last one is income, and I'm sure you know income. Compensation, livelihood, and earnings is the match there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're doing really well. We're still in set 2, and this is our new group of words. Incorporate, index, indicate, individual, induce, inevitable. And for this exercise, we're going to do a fill in the space. Here is the beginning sentence to work with. Some cultures emphasize the importance of the blank blank rather than that of the community. Opinion polls blank blank that the president is unlikely to be elected. A high salary blank blank him to work in the jungle for 12 months. Wow. An blank blank of tour operations is included at the end of the book. If you keep smoking, it is blank blank that your health will suffer. The last sentence. Internal data and government statistics were blank blank into the report. All right. Once again, please pause the video here. Make sure that you do complete these exercises because this is the way that will help you to remember the words and get a stronger understanding of what they mean and how they are used. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here are the answers. We start with individual. Some cultures emphasize the importance of the individual rather than that of the community. Indicate. Opinion polls indicate that the president is unlikely to be re-elected. Induce. A high salary induced him to work in the jungle for 12 months. You'd probably need a high salary to work in the jungle for 12 months. Index. An index of tour operators is included at the end of the book. Inevitable. If you keep smoking, it is inevitable that your health will suffer. Please don't smoke. And lastly, we have incorporate. The internal data and government statistics were incorporated into the report. All right, I hope you got that one. And we have one more group of words in this second set to cover. So let's do it and push through to the end of this set. Here are the AW words we're going to practice. Infer, infrastructure, inherent, inhibit, initial, initiate. All right, and for this exercise, it is fill in the spaces. Let's get started on the first sentence. Positive thinkers generally believe that people are blank blank good. The event blank blank, a series of protests around the world. Wearing tight clothes blank blank, freedom of movement. Foreign investors are offered special deals to invest in the country's blank blank. You look upset, so I am blank blank that you have some bad news. And the final sentence, the professor's blank blank reaction was doubt. But when he read the paper, he started to accept the theory. Okay, they are the sentences. Please stop here and complete the spaces before you look at the answers. Okay? Here we go. These are the answers for this last group. We start with inherent, and this one has been changed into an adverb. Positive thinkers generally believe that people are inherently good. Inhibit. Wearing tight clothes inhibits the freedom of movement. Initiate. The event initiated a series of protests around the world. Infrastructure. Foreign investors are offered special deals to invest in the country's infrastructure. And infer, this is an important part of academic vocabulary and also critical thinking. So you need to know this word. You look upset, so I am inferring that you have some bad news. And finally, initial. The professor's initial reaction was doubt. But when he read the paper, he started to accept the theory. Ladies and gentlemen, well done. Fantastic job. We have completed set number 2 in this section of the AWL list. All right, let's just end this set with a review of all of the words we have practiced. Hypothesis. Identical, identify, ideology, ignorance, illustrate, image, immigrate, impact, implement, implicate, implicit, incorporate, index, indicate, individual, induce, inevitable, infer, infrastructure, inherent, inhibit, initial, and initiate. Okay, a great set of words there. I hope this set has been useful for you. Let's move on, take a short break, and then you can start on set number 3. I look forward to seeing you there. Thank you very much.